One of the biggest advantages of the Ken Onion Elite blade grinding attachment is that you can sharpen knives of any size on this. A lot of other sharpeners, they either won't fit really small or really big blades. This one, you can have the smallest or the largest blades on here and it will work on them equally well. When Worksharp teamed up with knife maker Ken Onion to make the Ken Onion Edition knife and tool sharpener, they wanted something that could give knife sharpeners an experience closer to what professional knife sharpeners use. So they developed the blade grinding attachment. If you've got a Ken Onion Edition knife and tool sharpener, then the blade grinding attachment is available as a separate purchase. If you haven't pulled the trigger on a Ken Onion yet, then you can buy the Ken Onion Edition Elite, and that will include the blade grinding attachment as well as some stropping belts. When you receive your Ken Onion Elite, you'll get the Ken Onion Edition knife and tool sharpener separate, and if you want to learn how to use this, we go over it in a separate video. To attach the blade grinding attachment, remove the knife sharpening cassette and simply slip on the blade grinding attachment and then add the hub fastener. Ken Onion Elite comes with 5 abrasive belts. You get a coarse 120 grit, the X65, which is about 220 grit. You get the X22, which is about 1000 grit. And then the X4 is a fine 3000 grit. And then you have a super fine 12,000 grit belt. Ken Onion Elite also comes with the stropping belt kit that includes 2 cloth belts. And in addition to those, you get a green chromium oxide bar of stropping compound and a red ferric oxide bar of stropping compound. So you can get a really nice mirror finish on your edges. If you haven't used the blade grinding attachment before and you're a little unsure about how it works, then I recommend starting out with either the X4 or the 12,000 grit belt so that you can have a feel for how it works without removing a lot of steel from your knives. It's also useful to start at quite a slow speed. To put on a belt, simply hook it over the pulleys and twist this metal handle to release the spring. Once you've attached your belt, it's really easy to set your sharpening angle. Simply loosen the bolt on the back here, and then you can adjust these pulleys to create an angle anywhere from 10 degrees to 35 degrees. Let's set this to a nice 20 degrees. You've also got the option to move this pulley closer to the second one. If you move it closer, then you'll have a little less tension in the belt. This will allow you to create more of a convex edge on your tools if you want something nice and durable. At the moment, they're further apart, so the belt is a little bit tighter. There's going to be less flex, so we'll have a slightly flatter grind. Great for slicing. This plate on the back here is the reference plate. It's nice and horizontal. We'll lay our blade down on here so we know that it's flat, and then bring it up to this area where we'll be sharpening, and it's set at 20 degrees. To turn it on, simply pull the trigger, and while you're holding that down, push in this button on the side that will lock the machine on. When you're ready to sharpen your knife, lay it down on that table so it's nice and flat, and then we can bring it up to the sharpening belt and sharpen. The really nice thing about the Ken Onion Elite with the blade grinding attachment is that you can have both hands on the knife. So you've got a lot of control over the movement of the knife. You want to keep it horizontal and move it slowly across the belt. And you can easily see when you start to form a burr. Once you've formed a burr on one side, you can just flip the knife over and you can watch as the burr is removed on the other side. As this is modeled after professional knife sharpening equipment, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you've got over that, I find this to be a lot easier to use than many other sharpening systems. Because you can clearly see what's happening and that you've got both hands on the tool, It makes it a really nice and easy tool to sharpen on. As you're using this, the X22 and the X4, those belts will give a nice kind of toothy edge. Some people like that for their kitchen knives and their EDC knives. But if you want a more polished edge, if you want that really refined bevel finish, then you've of course got the 12,000 grit and those two stropping belts. The green chromium oxide will be a little coarser than the red ferric, so you might want to go green and then red for like ultimate like hair popping finish. Do you own the blade grinding attachment for the Ken Onion Edition knife and tool sharpener? If so, let us know what you like to sharpen on it. If you're interested in getting this or any other sharpening equipment, head over to sharpeningsupplies.com now.